I wanted to make a quick video on how to make sure that your grades are going into Powerschool. If you're seeing like an assignment is missing, if your grades aren't adding up, because they should be the same. You should see the final grade. If it's not exactly the same, it should be very, very similar from Canvas to Powerschool. So it should not be really different. And I found sometimes they are. And so I'm just going through kind of the essentially checklist of what you need to make sure you have done. So the first thing I normally do is I'll go into assignments in whatever class you've got, and while that's loading, you want to make sure it says Q1 up here. So that's important, so that you only see, the stuff that's in Q1. Otherwise, it will be overwhelming if you have, especially years later, once you have a large amount of assignments. You want to go through and check to make sure anything you want to go into Powerschool has a green check here. This check means that it's published. You also want to make sure that your percentage up here lines up with what you have in Powerschool. So I'll go through and just make sure everything is green that I want to be green. And also the other thing is making sure that everything is where it needs to be. So if I were to find a quiz in here, if I were to find a test in here, I'd have to move it under, the tests section. Otherwise, it's not going to go into there. And so, yeah, so that's what I'm checking to make sure everything is similar there and everything looks, so this all looks good. The other thing you might want, if it's just one thing, really, you should have done this in here. But the assignments kind of makes it easier to see. You could go into each one of these and make sure that it's checked that it's synced to Powerschool. Also, if an assignment is not showing up in your Canvas gradebook or Powerschool, you might want to check the date and make sure that you have a due date on there. You also might want to check if you wanted something to be in the Q1, but it's now in Q2, that your grade is good to go. You also want to make sure that that was supposed to be longer. Anyways, that your timeline ends, so the Q1 stuff ends during Q1, because otherwise it will not, students will see that it's missing in Q2 potentially, and they will do it, but it won't go into Powerschool because it's after everything has been locked. There is one other thing you want to make sure you have for settings, and that is, so going into settings, you do to make sure that you can access the Q1, the quarter, that kind of thing, and be able to sort it. You want to go under, I think it's, no, not navigation, it's feature options. And I normally check most of this stuff. This looks a lot smaller than it was before. So you definitely want to have this checked because this is posting it to Powerschool. I always put final grade override in there just because. Let's see, quiz. I feel like it's not in here anymore. There were way more options in here before, so this is a little, maybe they made it like a default because it's the way you can sort grading. There's a sorting kind of thing in here normally, and I mean, I prefer that it's by default. That's great. So this might not even be a thing anymore that you need to. It'll default to being able to be sorted by quarter, and nope, that's not true. I know exactly what it is. So let me go to dashboard right quick. It's actually in, I need to go to my demo class so that I don't have any student names in here. It's actually in grades, I think. So you want to make sure that in here you have a few things set. So I want to make sure in view, I think I have like assignment groups, that I have modules, that I have there might be grades, there might be, plenty of things in here for filters that you need to click that will help you. I think quarters should be in there. It's not in here because I pretty much don't have any assignments in here. So yeah, I think that's it. And to sync your grades, of course, you go into actions and click sync. And that is kind of your checklist in a sense for grades. And hopefully then, if you've got that, everything should line up and you should be good.